Well, hello and welcome. Well, we've had another update from the court between Google and Bruz. For those of you that don't know, Bruz is still suing Google. He settled with Shanks, and I've just got the update now. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to watch the court proceedings because I was working this morning. But how is this? Jordan Shanks is going to be called as a witness for Google against Bruz. How is that? How to add salt to Bruz's wound. Remember, his feelings are already hurt. So this is pretty big news. So let's have a look. Google will call YouTube comedian Friendly Jordies as a witness in the John Barilaro defamation case. This is... You can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up. You really can't. Google will call YouTuber Friendly Jordies as a witness in a defamation case brought by John Barilaro in a move the former New South Wales Deputy Premier's lawyer says will no doubt aggravate the damage. Mr. Barilaro is suing in the federal court over a publication of a series of videos last year. He has discontinued the case against Jordan Shanks, aka Friendly Jordies, after the satirist's barrister read out an apology in court earlier this month, accepting some of the videos were offensive to the politician. Portions of the sketches that attracted defamation allegations were edited out, but the case against Google continues. Barrister Lyndall Barnett for Google today told Justice Stephen Reyes the tech giant would call Mr. Shanks, but would not be adducing all evidence it had previously planned. The confirmation came as Mr. Barilaro's barrister, Sue Chrysanthu, pressed Google on Mr. Shanks' potential appearance after it reserved the right to call him. She said it would be some work to cross-examine the satirist if he was called, and suggested the tech giant would no doubt aggravate the damage to my client in doing so. Ms. Chrysanthu also accused Google of creating unnecessary busy work by seeking special orders beyond the usual undertakings given by litigants to protect confidentiality of part of documents Google was asked to produce. They were apparently to protect people's email addresses, Ms. Chrysanthu told the court. These are not state secrets. The notion that a person is allowed to enter to either redact documents or prohibit access for something in the nature my friend describes, with respect, is absurd. Hello, Justin. Miss Barnett insisted Google was not arguing the documents should not be made available, but merely to engage with their opposition and seek recognition of sensitivity in some of the documents. Justice Reyes questioned what could justify a confidentiality order describing the request as ridiculous and puerile. This is just storms in the teacup that are unnecessary, the judge said. Google also suggested Mr. Barilaro gave implied consent for the edited videos to be published. But the judge said securing of a deal to remove parts of the video that gave rise to imputations did not mean Mr. Barilaro consented to the rest of the videos being published. Ms. Chrysanthu described the consent argument as a false issue. We're not happy that Google continues to publish videos that contains racist remarks like greaseball Ned Kelly. But again, that's just a question of hurt, she said. The trial has been set down for 10 days in March. So, yes, Justin, I'm a lot better. I'm getting better. I'm not quite there yet. I'm still going to finish off the course of antibiotics that I've been on. But we're getting there. So, Bruz is not happy that Jordan Shanks is going to be called as a witness for Google. I mean, don't forget, he started it. Google just aren't playing. They're just not playing. So this was YouTube from the Sydney Morning Herald. This is from a Murdoch rag. YouTube personality Jordan Shanks will likely be evidence. Yep. So remember, he's saying he was famed by the videos titled Bruz and Secret Dictatorship. And also sued Google, owns YouTube. So Friday, Mr. Barilaro's barrister, Sue Chrysanthemum, told the federal court she had received correspondence and Google reserves the right to call Mr. Shanks. And she asked for Google to give a firm indication because Mr. Shanks' evidence would no doubt aggravate the damage to my client. We want them to not just reserve the right. If I'm to cross-examine Mr. Shanks, that's going to be some work. I don't have any problem with that. But it would be some type of empty threat. It shouldn't be allowed. They should say one way or other whether it is a fact that counsel's intention to call Mr. Shanks at the trial. Lyndall Barnett, appearing for Google, said her client's current intention is to call Mr. Shanks as witness. And Ms. Chrysanthemum would be informed if that intention has changed. So Ms. Barnett said the trial had been set down for 12 days from March. I thought it was March 21 next year, but now will likely be 10 days since Mr. Shanks' portion of the case has gone. So Google will argue the defence of qualified privilege, honest opinion, and public interest, detailing in court documents that the videos refer to information, opinions, and arguments concerning government and political matters affecting people of Australia. Google will also seek to argue that Mr. Barilaro provided his consent to the videos about him remaining online due to the settlement terms with Mr. Shanks, which only asked for certain portions of the video to be edited. So Ms. Chrysanthemum said her client never gave consent for the ongoing publication of the videos. Justice Stephen Rez said the trial will be held in person as COVID-19 restrictions wane, with witnesses from overseas expected to attend rather than giving evidence via video. So the case will return to court at a later date for further directions. So we might actually get all the big heavies from Googling. This is, as I said, this is about YouTube being a publisher when you've got a politician suing YouTube because of a video that they don't like. There's serious questions here. I mean, this is either going to be a storm in the teacup or it's going to be monumental for Google, and it could actually change the way that they do stuff. So this is news.com.au. I'm just looking at all the write-ups at the moment. Why friendly Geordies will return to court with John Barilaro. A YouTube comedian has been dragged back into another court battle despite settling his lawsuit with a former deputy premier. If Bruz wants this to go away, he would be pushing to settle. He would be pushing to settle with Google. If he wanted this, what's just happened? Don't like all the ads. So yeah, Bruz has started it. So and I have no doubt that Shanks will hold his own. She said, meanwhile, Google's lawyers received a stern rebuke from Justice Reyes on Friday over their request for a confidentiality undertaken over a bundle of emails they were ordered to produce to Mr. Barilaro. Ms. Chrysanthemum described the notion as utterly misconceived that Mr. Barilaro and his counsel should be made to sign confidentiality agreements in order to view the material. She said the top secret information that Google was seeking to protect was the email addresses of some of its employees. And I think some of the employees should be protected. I don't know that. I don't. I'm not sure if Google employees aren't public officials. Then I don't see why. I think that they should be able to protect their employees. Just saying. Ms. Barnett argued that Google had an obligation to protect the privacy of its employees and its users. Yes, that's what I'm saying. If you are suggesting that Mr. Barilaro is going to broadcast them or use them other than the purpose for this proceeding, then that's a different thing, just as Rez implied. But unless you're going to say that, it's an outrageous argument and an inference with what your client's obligation is to obey the orders of this court, just as Rez ordered Google to hand over the documents to Mr. Barilaro. So it's very, very interesting. It's going to be... I may have to book holidays for the trial. I may need a Sydney trip. I may need to go to Sydney for research. I may have to go. I'm going to. I need to go do research. So, yeah. So that's the latest on the Bruz situation. But yeah, he must be. I reckon he must be. Surely he's shaking in his boots, because the one thing they did not want, or the one thing that can be very damaging to him, will be Shanks's stuff, because Shanks still has got all of his information ready to go. I would have no doubt everything that he prepared for his defense now can be used to help Google. So, going to be very, very interesting. Bruz did his valedictorian speech yesterday in state parliament. So he just needs to disappear. Yeah. Just hang on, I'm just looking for I'm just going to check the court file. Where are we? Yeah, so let's have a look. So there were some more files. There were some more documents added. I disagree. ICAT. What? Oh, you reckon ICAT sorted him out? All right. So here we have the stuff that was filed today. So we had the interlocutory application from Google, and we had an affidavit from Google. So that was, I think, the interlocutory application was about the confidentiality of employees. But we haven't got any. We haven't had. Oh, yes, that's right. I would assume FJ has enough dirt that ICAP should be having a chat. I think so too. But can you imagine the stuff that could be pulled out and revealed under his evidence? So, yeah. So that was today. So once we've got the orders, I will talk about the orders and everything. So on the 8th of December, we've got the return of the subpoena from the Treasury Department. And then March 21, it starts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They've actually pulled it back a few days because they only needed 10 days, not 12. So, yeah. So tell me what you think. What's your thoughts on all of this? Anyway, so thank you for joining me. I'm going to love you all and leave you all. I'll be back live next week. But I just thought I'd give you a very quick live with the rundown on the latest from the courthouse. But thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Tell all your friends about the channel, and I'll catch you again soon.